up, say.
One time for the hometown, I got love for it, it's real. Yeah. 2 times for the haters, man, cause I notice how this shit feel. 3 times for my family, dog, cause this shit done paid our bills. Whoa. And I get 4 times my net worth from a year ago.
Alright guys, welcome back to the show. It's Matt with the Cutrer Report. Today we have another really cool guest in studio. Today is 2-time bench press national champion, Tommy Janusz. Dude, thank you for doing this. Thanks for coming in, man.
Yeah, man. Well, it was pretty fun. So
yeah, it'll be awesome. So, man, you were just telling me a really cool story. I don't know is that something you'd want to tell publicly? I don't know if that's something you'd want. If not, that's cool. I mean,
nah, I'd rather not.
Yeah,
I'd rather just keep that to ourselves.
Yeah,
you know,
I get that.
Yeah.
Little teaser for you. All right, so give us your elevator pitch. So I'll give you 30 seconds, 60 seconds. I won't hold you to a timer, but tell us who you are and what you do, basically.
Yeah, my name's Tommy Janusz, and I own the Bar Athletic Club. I compete in powerlifting competitions, and I specialize in coaching others in powerlifting. And so I train people for other fitness things too, but powerlifting's my biggest passion, my biggest niche.
Yeah, awesome, man. I apologize for saying your last name wrong. You told me, and I said it wrong. Janusz.
It's all good. Yeah, it's all good, man.
It's my name too, dude. Cutrer. Yeah. People butcher it all the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So let's start off, dude, with this recent competition you did with Bench Press Nationals. So what's crazy to me is you put on quite a bit of weight for this, right?
Yeah.
How much weight did you put on?
So I normally have been walking around like 205, 210.
Okay, yeah.
And so I decided that I was going to move up in a weight class to be more competitive, see how close I can get to a 500-pound bench.
Yeah.
And so I showed up weighing 226 pounds.
Nice.
So more than 10 pounds. I gained more than 10 pounds of weight. And golly, like, it was not enjoyable.
Oh, really?
It was, I felt strong. I'll say that. I felt very strong. But I did not feel healthy, or my clothes are not fitting.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah,
it is not fun.
Yeah.
I didn't eat a bunch of candy and cakes and stuff.
What'd you do? Just increase certain macros like carbs and
exactly. I just increased my macros, ate healthy items, steak, chicken, beef, whatever, and had rice and I ate vegetables. I ate good food.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Nice. So I mean, I think I probably felt better doing that than what I would if I just ate ice cream every day. For sure. But
did you do any of that, though? Any ice cream?
Oh, I mean, of course. I mean, I eat ice cream regularly anyway.
You do?
Oh, yeah.
So do I.
I love ice cream.
So do I. Oh, God, it's horrible. Because I eat so much of it, though.
Oh, yeah.
So, man, that's cool. So but you don't like being at this weight. What are you right now? Have you dropped any? I mean, it was just pretty recent.
I've dropped a little bit.
Nice.
I've only dropped a couple pounds. I'm at like 222 right now.
Okay. Yeah.
So I came back from the trip, from the meet, and then like chilled for a week, and then the next week I was like, all right, let's start running again. I need to get fit. Ran for like 20 minutes, and then the next day I woke up, my foot hurt, and so I must have pulled ligaments or tendons in my foot, and was hurting for like 2 weeks. Woke up Monday and felt 100% this Monday, yesterday.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I want to ask you something about running. That's interesting. But first, about the meet. So you were the lightest in your weight class.
Yeah.
Why did you go up in weight class? What was the reason?
So last year I had competed as a 220-pound weight class, right? Which was the heaviest I've competed, right?
Wow.
Even still.
Yeah. And
so this year when I went to register, I check out the roster. I check out who's signing up and who's talking about signing up, and because to me it's the point is like, I want to do it for me and see how much I can press.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to national, I still want to try and win.
Absolutely, yeah. Still a competition, yeah.
Yeah. So I like to see who's competing, and this particular year there were some guys that were already big guys that they were 242-pound weight class guys. Mm-hmm. Several of them that were all dropping into the 220-pound weight class.
Oh, interesting.
And these were guys who were 500-pound benchers.
You know these guys? Like, you know of them?
They're not like buddies, but I know them in the community.
Yeah.
You know, it's like guys that you see around that you know who they are, they know who you are.
Exactly. Sure. Yeah.
But so I looked at, their social media and it's like,
Smart, yeah.
So if I want to compete with them, like there's no way I'm going to bench over 500 pounds. So I'm going to move up and see how much stronger I'll get. So closer I'll get to a 500 bench. And so I decided to go up. And so actually several guys in my weight class decided to do that too.
Oh, they did? Yeah.
And so some of them surprised me how there's one guy in my weight and that moved up from the 220s.
Yeah.
That he upped his bench by like 60 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah. That was amazing.
Is this tested, right?
Yeah. It's drug tested. Yeah. And
wow, that's impressive. Yeah.
That guy tore his Achilles.
Oh, wow.
So he wasn't doing anything but bench.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so, that ended up being his superpower because he was doing nothing but bench press, and that's it. No squats, nothing.
That's crazy.
But,
Yeah. So, man, do you think that 500 bench press, so you've never hit 500 pounds, right?
Right.
Do you think it's out there? I mean, you think you'll hit it at some point?
I think
you will get there.
I think in the next year or two, I can hit it.
That's cool.
But I think that I'll have to do it weighing
like 300 pounds.
Well, not that big. I don't want to get that big. But I think I could do it probably weighing over 220.
Yeah.
I think I could do it weighing over 220. I think that if I weighed at 230 or even up to 235, 240, I could probably hit it.
Yeah, I bet so.
I'd rather not get that heavy.
Yeah.
But because, man, I don't feel healthy. I know
exactly.
Moving that much weight around it's not fun.
It's not, dude. It's really not. Like when you're leaner, I mean, there is something to be said about feeling stronger, like you're saying, but when you're leaner, you just feel better all around, in everyday life. Yeah. So I get that. So, man, that's pretty cool. Congratulations. Two-time. Yeah. So will you compete in the same one again next year?
Yeah, I think next year I'll probably stay and be a 242.
Yeah.
Right now I'm trying to lose a little bit just to feel comfortable between then and I've already started my training again.
Nice.
But I think I'll probably compete as a 242.
Yeah, cool. I want to be there next year, dude.
Next year is...
Or is it somewhere crazy?
I'm not sure where it is next year, actually. I need to look that up.
Yeah. Where did you go the previous one?
So this year was in Greenville, South Carolina.
Okay.
And then last year was in New Mexico.
Well, where was the one where you went across seas? Where'd you go? I forgot right now.
So years in 2016, I went to.
That was 16.
Yeah, so that was 2016.
I can't believe it's been that long time, dude.
Yeah,
where was that?
That was in Africa.
That's right, Africa. Yeah.
And so that was Bench Press Worlds.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That one I took fourth place.
Yeah, I remember that.
Dude, honestly, like ranked into it, I was ranked dead last.
Were you?
Yeah, and my only goal was to not be last. Yeah. And then, man, people were not doing well, and I was having the best day ever.
Whoa.
And
yeah, that's cool.
It was pretty wild.
Yeah. So talk to me about running. So, some people feel like running can be hard on your joints, especially as you age, and there are better forms of cardiorespiratory training. Some people like to run, though. I actually enjoy running when I'm not heavy. When I'm heavy, man, it's hard. It is, but I enjoy it. So what are your thoughts on that? Like for you personally and for, let's say, clients who want to get in shape?
Yeah. So running, I do like running.
Yeah.
And I have been good at it in the past.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, this is the heaviest I've ever been in my life. And, you asked impact on your joints. Well, yeah, dude, I came back weighing the most I've ever weighed. And then I had all this inflammation on my foot because I'm too heavy. I was too heavy to run.
Yeah. Yeah.
My body wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
So running can be great. Making sure your form is good.
Yeah.
Making sure you don't do too much too fast like I did.
Yeah, that's a big one.
And if you are heavier, if you are a big guy like I was at the time, you take your time.
Yeah.
Don't do too much too fast. Start out slow. Sometimes as a trainer, too, like, or anyone who's ever been to the gym, they show up real manic, real excited, and they do a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then the they're sore for the next week from the one workout, and they don't want to work out again.
Exactly.
You know? And so you got to treat any exercise like
that's
that,
right.
including running.
You do, yeah.
But if you're just trying to get like a cardio, you don't have to run. You could swim. You could get on the elliptical.
Yeah, for sure.
You could jump rope. You could do all kinds of stuff.
Right, yeah.
Or even like interval training.
Yeah, exactly,
interval training is a great way to go. And some people, that's way more fun.
Yeah.
For some people.
That's true. Yeah. Some people hate running. Yeah. So what about the Arnold, dude? That we talked a little bit about that, but that was a fun experience, huh?
Yeah, going to the Arnold is cool.
Yeah.
One thing that separates the Arnold from other competitions, even nationals, because the Arnold isn't nationals,
right?
Which is all the best.
Okay.
Which a lot of the way the Arnold is done is like this, like instead of competing in your weight class against the best people in your weight class, you're competing against a spread of people from several different weight classes that are considered pound for pound the best lifters in the country rather than the best lifters in their weight class.
Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah. So that competition, I was competing against I think there was over 30 guys in that bench press competition that I did that were all the pound for pound ranked top benchers in the country.
Okay, yeah.
And so there was a money prize, which I wasn't that concerned with because I really didn't expect to be as close as I finished.
Yeah.
I finished sixth.
Nice.
And going into it, my goal was just to make sure I beat everyone who was my weight class range.
Yeah.
And a buddy of mine pointed out that I could potentially win some money and then place higher if I put a little bit more weight on the bar.
Really?
I was being very conservative because of my training. I didn't have that much confidence in myself that day.
Yeah, I remember after your last lift, though, you say I should have put more weight on
the
bar?
Oh, my gosh. And
left a lot on the tank.
I did. It came up so fast. I feel like that day I could have put anything on the bar.
What? Yeah? You were feeling better than in Africa?
Oh, yeah. I felt amazing. Dang. I felt so good. And, I didn't expect the weight to feel so easy.
Yeah.
And
that's cool.
It was a surprise to me. I surprised a few people.
Yeah.
And but yeah, and the Arnold is another thing. A cool thing about the Arnold is you go to a powerlifting meet, even nationals, and it's typically made up of other people who are there to compete, and then their friends and family who came to watch them. But the Arnold it's a huge expo arena.
Yeah.
People coming to watch bodybuilding and gymnastics and CrossFit and all kinds of different sports.
Yeah.
Well, they may go watch something or they may go talk to some famous people.
Yeah.
And then they will come watch other events.
Yeah.
So most of the people there are just pure spectators.
Okay, yeah.
And some of them are gym people, some of them are experienced gym people, some of them are new gym people.
Yeah. Okay.
And
interesting.
It's way cooler because the crowds are bigger.
Yeah.
They get a lot more excited.
Oh, yeah.
Because
that's awesome.
A 400-something pound bench to them is way more impressive because they're not powerlifters.
That's right. Yeah.
And whereas a powerlifter is like, I can get pretty close to that.
They're not going to sit there and scream about it and cheer about it.
Yeah, exactly. So that brings excitement to it.
I would like that too, just because, going to stuff that's similar but on a way smaller level. I love, like you're saying, like getting to meet different people that do different things, different disciplines. That's pretty cool, being all in one place. I've always thought that would be really cool to go to.
It's very cool, man. And I would love to bring something on a smaller scale to San Angelo. And we have so many different varied fitness businesses.
Yeah.
Martial arts, different MMA, boxing.
Dude, somebody needs to do that. You ought to do that.
Dude, I've done some little bit of looking and budgeting into it and kind of thrown some feelers out to different businesses. So
cool.
I think it could be cool.
I will help you in any way you need me to promote that.
I think it'd be something.
It would.
Nobody really does an expo out here in West Texas.
Yeah.
Like that.
That's right.
I think the closest is and I think someone in Lubbock put a small expo together, but
Yeah.
nothing out here.
Yeah.
And so if we had, we could do. I have a buddy that's involved in arm wrestling. I have another buddy that's involved in hosting strongman competitions, and another one that's called arm wrestling, which is, there's so many different things.
Wait, what's arm wrestling as opposed to arm wrestling?
Well, I
Different type.
I misspoke. So arm wrestling, it's called. There's arm wrestling. There's arm lifting.
What's that?
There's curling competitions. Yeah. Arm lifting is like it's more like a grip strength competition.
Oh, okay.
And so people pick up various objects with just their fingertips and their grip.
Cool.
To make sure they're able to lift.
Yeah. You have good grip strength?
I think my grip strength is decent, but I can't say that I'm on. I don't know. I'm probably not on the level of those guys.
Right. Yeah.
I've never even tried it.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I can't say that I'm near that.
You do a lot of weighted carries?
Not really.
Not really. Yeah.
Not really. I mean, sometimes,
not as much as I need to either.
If I'm trying to go through like a fitness kind of workout, I'll do that.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But I really don't.
Yeah. Do you just focus on the big three, squat, bench, and deadlift, or do you do some accessory work too?
I do a lot of accessories.
You do a lot?
Yeah, I do a lot of accessories because powerlifting is important to me, but my shape is as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so I do my power lifts for heavier weight, for strength.
Yeah.
And then do my accessories for higher reps to build size and shape.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I do. That's great.
Yeah, it's
cool,
fun.
Man. Yeah. Yeah, I like training like that. Do you ever just switch it up and do something completely different?
Oh, yeah.
Man, sometimes. I used to do that more often, and I was thinking about that lately, like, man, I don't do that as much as I used to. Like, I've been in the same, you know what I mean? Just something completely different.
Oh, yeah. It's a rarity that I do, like, I went through, years ago, like, when I first started the gym, I went through a phase where I was like, and I was definitely the most fit I ever was in my life.
Really?
But because I was.
Was this when you were thinking about doing a bodybuilding show?
No, I was very fit then too.
Dude, yeah, you were like shredded.
I got really lean.
How come you didn't do that?
Well,
you just didn't.
Dude,
it wasn't in your.
I wanted to do it, and I was probably 5 or 6 weeks out.
Yeah.
And I was moving from our old location to our new location.
It was during that time period, yeah.
And it was a little foolish for me to sign up considering all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the issue came to be is that our move-in date changed several times.
Okay.
And then the guy who was doing my construction, who was supposed to be, just wasn't doing it.
Yeah.
And then he disappeared.
Oh, no joke. Yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah, man. I paid him a lot, and he just disappeared.
No, he jacked you?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Where is he now?
He's in Abilene, I believe.
Let's go find him.
Yeah, right.
Dude, that sucks.
Oh, yeah, it sucked, man. But so I just had to make the choice and just go. I just had to move, and I couldn't keep paying for two buildings at the same time, and I knew that, like, all right, that guy's not going to be working on this, so I just have to just go.
Yeah.
And at least I'll, not be paying for two buildings at the same time anymore.
Yeah.
And so the move-in day that I had to do was the same weekend as the show.
Yeah.
And so I got to a point where I was really lean.
Man, I would have loved to have seen that, dude. It would have been cool.
It would have been cool.
Yeah.
I was.
That would have been really neat to see.
I went and got a little bit of posing practice in. And,
nice.
It was feeling cool. And
would you ever do that again? Would you ever try to do? You should do that.
I think I would like to do it.
Yeah.
I would like to do it. A couple of my clients keep telling me that I need to, and one of them just did a bodybuilding or a bikini competition, and so she has been telling me, like, you need to do this, you need to do this, and
it'll be cool to see that journey, dude.
I would like to hit a 500-pound bench first,
or
get as close as I can, because I know that when you do cut, you're gonna lose some stuff.
That's right. Yeah.
And I don't want to have to go through that rebuilding
when
phase.
You're already this close. Yeah, that's true.
And
I
so
get that.
I'd like to get that first.
Yeah.
and then do that after.
Yeah.
So, I mean, dude,
I'm so curious to know what you think about the whole. I mean, you've done that, but to compete, and I wonder if that's something that you'll. I mean, you enjoyed it, right?
Yeah, I had like the process I went through. I felt good. I didn't feel bad at any time.
Yeah.
My nutrition. I had old Brandon Smith helping with my nutrition stuff, and I felt good the whole time. Like I was aggressively cutting because he had started several weeks before me, and I think I only had like 10 weeks. I think about.
Wow. Yeah.
And I was already fairly lean. I'll say that.
Yeah.
And so I was aggressively cutting because I wanted to make sure I didn't look bad when I went up there. And I had no negativity about it.
That's cool.
Everything felt good. Of course, I wasn't into the last 3 weeks and being starved and stuff.
That's right.
Like somebody was, and
that's true.
But
I'm really curious because I always, when I talk to people about it, like there are definitely positive things about it, but then there's some negative things too about it, and one of the negative things, in my opinion, from my experience is it's one of those things with that particular fitness discipline is that no matter how hard you try, you become self-obsessed, with the way you look and you're getting your meals in and your cardio, and it just becomes about everything that you're trying to do, which it's for a time period, but especially if you do it a lot, though, it becomes part of your life.
Oh, yeah.
It can become this very like narcissistic thing, where you kind of put others in the back burner and it's just about you and what you're doing and trying to accomplish,
Yeah.
So it can be a little bit dark in that way, I feel like. And I think if, you have your priorities straight, though, you can still do it and even do it probably consistently once or twice a year and not become this narcissistic asshole or whatever. But that's a risk, Whereas I feel like with powerlifting, that's not so much the case, probably, right?
I guess
it could be.
It depends on how a person is,
Yeah.
I mean, for me, when I was younger, and I think when I was younger, I treated it a lot more serious.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
Because when I was younger, I would have, friends would say, "Hey, let's hang out," and I would say, "Sure," and I would, but I would finish my entire workout and everything, get it done first, and then go do something.
Yeah.
Whereas now, I'll know that like, oh, my friends are wanting to hang out, we're gonna play some games, but sometimes I won't finish my workout.
Yeah.
But it's not. I'm 38. I'm not 22
That's
anymore,
right.
and it's not. Do I still love it? Yeah, but I want to live life and have.
That's right, dude.
Enjoy.
I like that. I can relate to that. Yeah.
And so, like that aspect you're talking about, like being, I guess, almost selfish. And I don't really. It's not necessarily selfish. Like it's you're making yourself a priority, and then other things in life are not. But if you do, like if you've got a family, if you've got children, if you've got business, and of course everybody works, you still have to keep those things up there, at least equivalent. Because if you lack on one of those things, then those things are going to lack, and they're going to feel it. If they're people, they're going to feel it.
Right.
If it's work, your boss is going to see it.
Yeah.
Or your clients, if
Yeah. That's the thing that I was mostly family also, but like, just being like when you're doing it consistently, you're taking your meals to family gatherings and you're the guy with the Tupperware container and chicken and they're eating birthday cake. You know how that is.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I feel like a douche sometimes like that. But then, but also, so family, but also clients. That was the thing for me. It was like, I still put their priorities up there. It was super important what I was doing, but my stuff was more important. And I got to a point where I realized that. I was like, no, man, I'm way more focused on my goals and what I'm trying to achieve. And I used to care more about what they were trying to achieve. Yeah. I could tell that the weight had shifted, the scales had shifted a little. And it's just something I became aware of and worked on. And I think I might do one more, but, it's not something I feel like also with that particular thing with bodybuilding and physique shows, if you get too deep into that, there's you get to a place where you have to make a decision when it comes to certain, hormones and drugs. And it's that, that sport is very infested with that. And so if you get too deep and you try to go too deep, you get to a point where most likely you're going to partake in that, and that's a road that's hard to come back from probably. Yeah. Which, speaking of that, is that something that, because you're all natural, right? You've always been.
Yeah.
I think that's incredible, dude.
I'm natural. I think that I have better genetics than probably the average person. I'll say that at least.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there's guys that just blow me out of the water. Right. Like, there's guys that are, just amazing. But for me, I mean, I don't see any reason to take anything for sport. I know guys are taking as they get older, they'll take like TRT.
How do you feel about that?
I'm not necessarily against that.
Same here, yeah.
If a guy's taking TRT just for his casual lifestyle, to make him feel healthier and age better.
Okay,
that's fine.
Yeah,
But where I see a difference is in like sport, because TRT, I mean, it's still testosterone,
right?
And it will give a person an edge. Like, I do know a guy that he was a natural lifter, and then he decided to take TRT, and it was recommended, prescribed by his doctor. He was a pretty young guy.
Yeah.
And then when he got on it, dude, he got bigger, stronger, leaner. He was more competitive.
Yeah.
Of course, he couldn't compete in the same federation I was in anymore.
Yeah.
He moved to a different one, but I mean, his bench alone went up like almost 100 pounds.
Whoa!
In a year.
Wow!
And that was just
crazy.
That was just TRT. That wasn't like
a bunch of crazy compounds,
athlete level.
High levels
stuff.
of Wow!
But and
do you think would you ever do that? Like if let's say when we're like 50 or something like that, and
I mean, I guess I'm not. I don't know. Maybe if I'm like 50 something and I want to do it for to feel good.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, maybe
like
so.
If you need it, your test levels are that low. That's how I feel about it too, for sure. Yeah.
I'm not opposed to it. Like, I don't know if do you ever see the show Coach?
No.
Back in the day.
Oh yeah. Oh, you talking about with Terry? What's his name?
It's with no. It's like an early 90s.
Yeah,
late
you're talking
80s
about
show.
the dude with the long blonde hair, right?
Yeah, Dauber.
Yeah.
Dude,
yeah, dude.
I've been watching it like crazy right now.
Oh, you have? That's awesome. Yeah.
And it's just a hilarious, good show. And then, but not only that,
it is a good show.
It's super wholesome. There's a lot of lessons.
That's right. Yeah.
And it's got me thinking, like, dude, a lot of TV shows are not like teaching lessons and they're like as wholesome as that is anymore.
None. Almost none.
Yeah.
I mean, you rarely even see the show, the typical format, which was with the nuclear family.
Yeah.
Now it's like the guy, if there's a guy involved, he's some bumbling idiot or something. And, and like, it's just sad, dude.
Yeah.
I hate that. Yeah, honestly.
It is. Yeah. It's like what I know, like that you mentioned that I notice now. So, something that I recognize, like, there was 9 seasons.
Yeah.
And I'm in the 8th season, and they made some major changes, and it's like it's turned into a show that's more modern, where it's just stupid.
Yeah, it got bad. It fell off. Jumped the shark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just silly, dumb show.
How, in what way did it change? What do you mean? So it was no longer about teaching a lesson at all. It was just goofy.
Yeah,
shit.
It's just goofy.
Yeah.
They'll have stories for an episode because it's a TV show. Yeah. But as far as having a lesson or having like a important dramatic thing happen and then they have a solution, it's just stupid.
Yeah.
Like okay, the last one I watched, so this guy he's a professional coach in the NFL. And his defensive coordinator, he had all these friends over. And they were grilling in the backyard. The defensive coordinator was told, hey, the food's not ready in the grill. He doesn't care. He goes in there, grabs a sausage right off the grill, bites into it, burns his tongue, right?
Yeah.
Really stupid,
Yeah.
So what is that episode about? It's about the defensive coordinator suing that head coach because he burnt his tongue.
Been on a kick where you're watching older shows, or just that one in particular?
I just saw it, and I hadn't watched TV in a while.
Yeah.
and I saw it and I wanted to check it out.
Yeah. You never
And-
watched it when you were younger?
A little bit.
Yeah, I
A
only
little
did
bit,
a little
but
bit,
not
yeah.
like that.
Right.
Not like watching every episode.
Exactly.
I watch it when it's on TV.
Yeah.
We
Catch it
didn't
every-
have.
You couldn't binge stuff
Yeah,
back
you
then.
couldn't
Yeah.
binge stuff back then.
Yeah. You know what I did that with is Seinfeld.
Oh
So-
yeah,
yeah.
Seinfeld's
Have you
great.
done that? Have you ever done that? Like
I
binge it?
have all the DVDs
Oh,
of
you
Seinfeld.
do?
Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
that's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Seinfeld.
You know what else I did that with in college was my dad told me to watch the first, is it 3 or 4 episodes of Star Trek. I was like, man, I don't know. It's kind of cheesy. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of dumb. But I'm into sci-fi stuff. And I was like,
Yeah.
all right, I'll give it a shot. And that, like, dude, I'm like a hardcore Trekkie now. Like, it was like the best 3 seasons of anything I almost have ever watched. Like, I loved it.
I've watched
It's crazy.
some of the movies.
Yeah,
Because
I like the movies.
my friend's dad was a big Trekkie.
Yeah.
And like I remember watching the Borg movie.
The Borg?
There was a movie about an alien race. I think they were called the Borgs.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I can't remember the name of the captain. I think of the USS Enterprise.
Captain
or
Kirk?
something.
No?
I don't.
It was the other guy?
It was Picard.
Picard,
with
yeah.
the shaved head.
Yeah.
Like Professor Xavier.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
And so I guess him and this queen of the Borgs, this leader of their race or something, I don't really quite remember.
Yeah.
They had at some point some type of relationship, like an interspecies alien relationship. But
Yeah.
yeah,
It's awesome,
But
dude.
it was a cool. I remember it being a cool movie, and I think she like held him captive or something at some
Dude,
point
that's
because she
hot.
wasn't gonna let him go.
Yeah.
And
Dang.
huge metaphor for some type of current relationships, even, you know.
Yeah. Dude,
but,
that's cool. I gotta check that one out. That's wild.
yeah.
Yeah, I always liked how Captain Kirk was always like dating some like, you know, foreign, like, or not even foreign, like other species, like a
Yeah.
green chick or something.
Huh. See, I haven't really seen the
You
show.
gotta check those out, dude. Those are
Yeah.
good. Those are good. But what about so that's what I want to ask you though about. So when you opened the bar, what year was that?
It ended
been a
up
while now.
officially being 2015.
Okay, 15.
I-
Why officially? What do you? Because I thought it was like
so
13 or 14.
Yeah, so I think it was like 2014 when I was kind of open,
Mm-hmm.
but I was like only letting my friends come in.
Okay.
And I was having like, I mean, you know, it's tough getting started. I think
Yeah.
that like the first 6 months I was paying rent out of pocket.
Yeah.
Like with my paycheck of my
Right.
regular other job
Heck
that I
yeah.
was working bartending and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I guess I mean it was in 2014 that we opened and started.
Okay.
And then yeah, so really technically I guess it was 2014.
Yeah.
I say 2015 cuz that's when I figured out a lot of like tax stuff.
Oh yeah, dude.
Cuz
Yeah.
I
Did
knew
you
nothing.
do escort or did you do LLC or
I
what?
did an LLC.
You did. I did too.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about that? Do you regret that or do you think that was a good move?
I think it's at the time like it's still fine.
Yeah.
I have a buddy that advises me on stuff.
Nice.
And he's told me that we can switch it to a escort.
Yeah.
And the benefits of it.
Yeah.
And we talked about the benefits of both. And
Cool. Yeah.
I'm kind of indifferent. Like it seems either way. Like I'll benefit either way.
Yeah.
But I don't really have any regrets.
Yeah.
I think that I mean, dude, I've just been growing and growing since
For a
like,
decade.
Yeah,
A decade.
yeah.
So,
It's-
you know, they say if you can make it to year 7 in any business, but especially the fitness business,
Oh,
then
yeah.
you figured something out. That's because I think it's like 85 or 90% fail.
yeah.
You know, so that's really cool, man. Kudos. I think that's really admirable, dude.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, that's something that's very cool.
It's wild.
It's
you know?
amazing to me. But how is so? Like you said, you've been growing and growing a little bit each year.
Mhm.
So, has it been that way the whole time, like steady growth, or did you have years that weren't as good? And how is it doing now?
Yeah, I mean, you have times where you dip a little bit.
Yeah.
I know years ago, Abilene got a Crunch Fitness.
Yeah.
You know, and I remember talking to my friends in Abilene. I said, I said, dude, if San Angelo ever gets a crunch, I'm just gonna close.
Dang.
Because I saw like several local gyms in Abilene closed when that happened.
Yeah.
And they're so, these big corporate gyms, they've got everything. They have millions of dollars.
That's right.
And
that's right.
And so, dude, it opened here, and we had a dip. We definitely had a slightly loss of business.
Yeah.
But then several months later, dude, we picked up.
Yeah.
And all these people that left were unhappy, and they came back.
Yep, exactly.
And
that's what happens.
And they brought people with
I love that. Yeah. All right. That's great.
It was pretty wild.
Yeah.
And then, coronavirus, that little shutdown, which, when the shutdown was announced, we immediately lost like 30%.
Oh, yeah?
And most people elected to keep paying.
Yeah. Same here. Yeah.
We let people take gym equipment home with them.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And so our building was mostly empty.
Yeah.
But that actually was amazing for us, because a lot of those people that borrowed equipment, they had friends work out with them that weren't members.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
So when we reopened, I think part of it was that those people came with them.
Yep.
But I think that people were just tired of sitting at home.
Yeah.
And they wanted to get out. So people, I wonder, like, if all the gyms just had a big influx after that.
Interesting. Probably.
Because we did. And we had a big influx. And not only did we have everyone who was there before rejoin, but we grew 30% more business than we had before we closed.
Yeah.
And we maintained it ever since we reopened.
Wow. Yeah. That's good. That's really good.
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah. What memberships do you offer?
So we have just a general membership. It's like, with tax, it's $32.
Okay. Nice.
And then we do a student membership.
Cool.
It's like student and like civil service, or like police, fire, whatever.
Nice.
And they get a discount that's like $27 after tax.
Yeah, yeah.
And but that's just like 24-hour access, just an everyday independent gym goer.
Right. Gotcha.
And of course, we do personal training and group training and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
But
do you do more personal training or group training, would you say?
I do more personal training.
Yeah.
I have one small group, which is what I had this morning at 4 a.m.
Okay, yeah.
And then, but we have like some youth group.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah. And we have big, we have a powerlifting group training program, and there's about 10 kids in that.
Yeah.
Mix of high school kids and a couple middle school kids.
Yeah, that's good.
And
yeah. Do you have other coaches, right? How many other coaches work there?
Oh, let's see. We have Bailey. We have Nicole. We have Sarah. We have Michael, and we have myself. I think that is everyone.
That's good.
So I guess we have 5 people.
Nice.
So we have a good little group.
Very cool. Yeah, dude. Are they independent contractors? Is that how you've always done it?
Yeah, so that's how I
do it. That's the way to do it,
It's
man.
so easy because, you don't have to, like, I give people 2 options. I say you can either pay 25%.
Yeah, or a flat rate.
Yeah, or a flat rate. And it's so easy.
That's reasonable, dude.
Yeah, and it's like, I want people to make money.
Yeah.
And I want them to stay.
Yeah.
And
that's great.
I don't want them to go anywhere. So, where other places may say something higher, 50%, or why would they want to go anywhere if they're getting a good rate?
That's right.
And they've been there forever, loyalty.
Yes.
So, yeah.
That's great, dude. I like that. That's very fair to me. Yeah. That's cool. So what I noticed is kind of interesting. James Knight?
Yeah.
So I love James Knight. He's actually my sponsor in NA. Great guy.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
He's a good dude. And I trained him for a little while, maybe 3 years ago at my gym, 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay.
And I really got to know him a little better. And it was during that time, I would say probably 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, where I noticed, just not even trying to notice, but I noticed the bar athletic club evolving into something a little different in a good way. But it started to, just without anything that you could do, it just picked up sort of its own vibe and own momentum. And you saw people out with gear, like bags and stuff and different
Yeah.
things. And I was like, man, this is really becoming something cool in West Texas. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And James would talk about that a lot, and he had his bag, and it was just it was cool, you know, and
Mhm.
I was proud of that, dude. I thought that's cool. We need that, you know.
Yeah.
We need more independent stuff like that. It's cool.
We have a little bit of recognition, you know, and
Oh yeah.
like even outside and in the state, and
Wow. Yeah.
I've had people come to visit from out of
Wow,
town, which
yeah.
is cool. Like the first couple times, like I was like, you drove from
Whoa
3 hours from somewhere else to come visit here.
That's
Like, yeah,
cool.
saw you on Instagram. It looks so cool. The art, the painting on
Yeah.
the walls,
Oh, that's awesome.
and but
Wow.
you know, making different shirts and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Like I try to get creative.
Yeah.
And I've always been you know, creative, liking to paint and draw and
Okay,
read
yeah.
stuff, but
Yeah.
I don't have that outlet. Well, it's become designing t-shirts,
Nice.
coming up with the ideas, and
Yeah.
I'll do some of the artwork, but then
You didn't do the stuff on the wall, right? Didn't Maynard do some of that?
so Maynard did some, and then Inks did some, and then there's
Inks did
another
some? Cool.
fellow I met named, calls himself Vivo.
Okay.
And he's out of New Braunfels.
Oh, cool.
And
Okay.
he did She-Hulk
Oh,
and
nice.
the Ninja Turtles for me on the wall.
Sick, dude. Okay. Yeah.
And that dude, that guy's got some crazy talent.
Oh, yeah.
And
Dang.
he's like, he'll just come in, spend the weekend there,
Yeah.
paint some stuff up, and
Yeah.
like he's
Yeah.
really good.
Do you have any room? Are you going to do more?
I want to do more. I guess.
What do you want to do next?
I was thinking about doing some villains.
Yeah.
I was thinking of.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking of doing just a big jacked Venom.
Yeah. What about a Bane, dude? That'd be kind of cool.
Dude, Bane would be cool too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bane, and that would be cool because I was, you know, I thought about Batman, but people don't typically, although Batman's super athletic and whatnot, people don't really think about Batman as, you know, a big gym
That's true,
guy.
right? Yeah, a
At
big
least,
gym guy. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and
He's a billionaire. He's kind of a
yeah,
more of a techie. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. But yeah, I want to put, you know, more muscular looking characters on the walls, and
Venom's cool. That's a good
Yeah,
idea, dude.
but
Big
Venom.
old tongue, dude.
yeah, exactly. It'd
That'd
be
be
so
badass.
rad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have some ideas of what I want to put up, and I want to put some women on, like, you know, we'll have
Yeah.
She-Hulk. So I figure like women aren't as into these fantasy comic book characters as
Yeah.
the guys are,
Yeah.
but they know who, like, because of the TV show, they know who the She-Hulk
Right.
is.
Yeah.
But when I first put her up, that show wasn't on yet.
Yeah.
And
Like,
so
what's going on here?
some of those guys didn't even know who She-Hulk
really?
was, and I was a
Yeah.
little embarrassed. And when the She-Hulk got put up, like, all these girls were like, "That looks just like me. Did you do that?" Like,
Are you
like,
serious?
yeah.
That's hilarious.
There was several girls
Really?
that did that, yeah. And I was like, "Oh my
That's
gosh,
hilarious.
like,
Yeah.
calm down."
I know. They're all
But
offended.
it was fun. But
That's hilarious.
but yeah, I'll definitely be putting up more artwork.
Yeah.
I've been putting some focus on upgrading some things.
Oh, yeah?
Getting some new machines and
Nice. Is that hard to do? I mean, that was hard for me, you know, of course, these multi-million-dollar.
broke.
Mhm.
And it was probably we had 3 bikes, and this one particular bike was the most expensive bike of the
Like
3.
an Airdyner, like a assault bike or something.
It was like so it's like they're what, I can't think of the name of the brand that they are. It's a different brand.
Yeah.
But they're like that. So I had 2 bikes that were like the assault bikes.
Right. Yeah.
And then the third one I had was like this. It was basically an assault bike, but it was just heavily upgraded. It
Oh,
was
cool.
super heavily built,
Yeah.
and it looked kind of like a fancy Schwinn
Oh,
bike.
yeah. Okay.
And
yeah.
but something internal broke on it.
Oh, no.
And so one pedal you couldn't really do anything with. So I wanted to get a stair stepper.
Yeah.
And so, you know, people ask me, not all the
So
time,
expensive,
but they'll
yeah.
throw that word out
Yeah.
there. And so I had been researching and looking for one that would be in the middle.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't the name
Right.
brand stair stepper, but it was still a commercial
Yeah.
machine.
Exactly.
So I got this one, and it showed up, and it was about half the price of the name brand one.
Like
it's a great machine
or something.
Yeah, it was like $2,500.
Nice.
And
Wow.
and a lot of people said they like it better than the Stairmaster brand. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. You still have it?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
good,
got it just last month. Brand new.
Nice.
Yeah, the display screen is nicer, and
right.
the way it runs, people say they like it
Would
better.
Would you ever add another one of
those? Maybe.
Yeah.
If I don't really put a lot of space for cardio machines.
That's cool. Yeah.
Not that many people do cardio in our gym.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I could see, if I see people using it regularly, and there's somebody waiting, if I start seeing that, then I might get another one.
Yeah. Okay.
Because that was, if it gets a lot of use and I see the value in it, sure, I'll get it.
Yeah.
25% of our members.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Like for a powerlifting gym, and that would be hard to decide because as you see it, I mean, you just look 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when we were just kind of starting, women were still afraid, and they still are today, but afraid to lift heavy. You know what I mean?
And I'll say, like, women can be afraid to lift heavy. There's a lot of bad information out there about looking like a man and looking too muscular, and that's not going to happen.
Right.
And but there's even guys who say things like that too. There are guys who say, I don't want to get that big.
Oh yeah.
It's like, dude, you're not gonna show up to the gym for the week and wake up Monday morning bigger than me. Like,
exactly. Yeah.
I've been trying to do that for 20 years.
Exactly.
And it still isn't happening.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
that's funny. Yeah. But I think it's, the trend is, women are starting to realize there's starting to be some better information out there.
Absolutely.
And they're starting to realize, you look at these women who are fitness models, bikini competitors, powerlifters, and they have these beautiful, sleek bodies. They're not, bulky or anything. And women are like, oh, they actually lift heavy because of Instagram and whatever else.
Oh, yeah.
And so it would be interesting to see if you get a higher clientele of women, I don't know. What I would guesstimate is that it'll probably slowly increase over time, but I don't know if you'd have like a boom of extra women, but I bet it'll keep increasing.
Yeah. I think that in some, I mean, I guess we're still looked at as a powerlifting gym.
Yeah.
And
do you like that? Are you okay with that?
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
When we first started, we were absolutely a powerlifting gym, but we're so much more diverse now because I've recognized that you can't just be one thing in business. You really have to diversify and do multiple things. Like, you can't just be a gym. You need to sell apparel.
Yeah.
You can't just be a gym with
really
apparel. You got to sell supplements.
I like that. Yeah.
And all these different avenues are going to help your business collectively together. So in the same sense, we can't just be just a powerlifting gym. Maybe if we're in a big city, we could.
Right.
But we have tons of machines. We have tons of cardio equipment. We have a lot of stuff that are not powerlifting stuff. So, like, one of the coolest machines we have that might get used the most is called the Gluteator.
Oh yeah.
And those are cool. It's a hip thrust.
Is it plate loaded or is it pins?
Yeah, it's plate loaded.
Oh yeah, I like those, dude. Yeah.
It's made by a guy in Dallas.
Okay.
And he's it's a combination of abduction. So opening your legs out and a hip thrust at the same time.
Oh, very cool.
Such a cool machine. And
wow, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Such a cool machine. And we've have athletes that use it.
Yeah.
That swear that it helps them run faster.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Which makes sense because
absolutely
you're kicking your legs back. That's a ton of glute work.
Dude, yeah.
Cool. It's a cool machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice. So where do you see your gym going in the next, let's say, 5 to 10 years?
5 to 10 years?
Like, yeah, do you want to open another location? Do you want to just, keep making that one better and growing that one? Do you want to make something else? I mean, what do you...
the idea of opening another location is really cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I would have to hire somebody else to help.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it on my own, and I would have to do some reading and figure out like management strategies in that aspect. Because
that's right.
I right now I don't know how to handle that.
Yeah.
And that would be a bigger investment. I could start it the same way I did the other one.
Yeah.
Start small and
For
grow
sure.
out.
Yeah.
What I would like to do is to keep growing at least into this one.
Okay.
And go into an even bigger building if I can.
Ooh,
Because
okay, yeah.
my dream gym, like the ideal concept I have is not just powerlifting and having some other machines, but I would like to have a powerlifting area.
Yeah.
Just a designated powerlifting area, a designated strongman training area.
Oh, that'd be cool, dude.
Having a CrossFit rig inside the gym and having a full CrossFit program.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And then having a machine area or bodybuilding type area.
You need to do that.
I would like to have specialized areas like that.
Yeah.
Of these cool things that have great following.
Yeah.
And CrossFit, like, man, actually, like, before opening the bar, I was actually researching opening a CrossFit.
Were you? Yeah.
And honestly, it was really not for passion of CrossFit, because I did some when I was real young in college.
Yeah.
At the very beginning of CrossFit started in 2005.
Yeah.
But it was a little bit different then, and not quite the same thing.
Okay.
But I was thinking, man, I'm gonna capitalize on this money of it, And I was managing Complete Nutrition at the time, and then Tyler Tomerlin opened up T-Bones.
Oh,
so I was like,
was he the first?
He was the second one.
Okay,
so,
I thought that Jeremy was the first.
Yeah, so Jeremy was the first one.
Yeah.
When Jeremy opened up, I went through this phase of riding my bike everywhere.
Yeah.
So when Jeremy opened up, I got on my bike. I was working at Gold's Gym.
Yeah.
And I got on my bike one morning and I said, I'm going to go over there. And I rode downtown, walked in and talked to him for a little bit.
Yeah.
And just, thought it was really cool because this is a big movement that was definitely growing. It was becoming a thing.
Oh, yeah.
And we didn't have it in San Angelo.
That's right.
And he was the first one to do it.
Yeah.
And so super smart and innovative of him.
Yep.
And, he's been around. I mean, gosh, that was probably 2010 or 2011 maybe.
Yeah.
When he opened that.
Yeah.
So he's been around for almost like 15 years maybe.
That's crazy, man. Yeah.
But I remember going over there, riding my bike over there, and
Did you ever go to Eric Fowler's place over there off the loop?
The
1031 Fitness.
1031.
Yeah.
I saw it and I drove past it many times.
Yeah.
Talked to him several times. Yeah. But I never went by.
Okay. Yeah.
I'd always been curious because I never really saw, like consistent. I didn't know when it was open.
Right. Yeah.
Cars were over there, but I'd always been curious. I saw pictures of it. It looked really cool inside.
Yeah. He had a cool setup. It really was cool how he did that.
Yeah. Really neat building.
Yeah.
But no, I never got to go inside.
Yeah. He's a police officer now, I think.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw the
cool
pictures that were taken whenever he
me too.
finished the academy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that something you would ever do? I could see you doing that.
I'm not opposed to it. Like I could see myself doing that.
Yeah.
I think that I feel like I would be a fair, impartial person.
Yeah.
You have to. It has to be something that you have to be a fair person. You have to be unbiased. You have to want to help people above anything else.
That's right, man.
Not being a.
That's well said.
Not being a.
It can't be. I want to be an authority. Like I want to tell people what to do. Yeah.
Exactly. You really got to go into it to help people.
Yeah, that's the truth.
That's at the highest extent. That's really what you're doing is helping people, and even people who are breaking the law, like, and you're arresting them, and you're that person. I mean, the short term you may not be helping them. You're locking them up. Long term, it may be helping them.
That's right. Yeah.
But at the very least, you're helping the community.
Yeah. That's right.
But I don't know. I mean, that's a big risk. Like, not that we have. It's a dangerous job.
Yeah, it is.
It's a selfless job. They work a lot of hours, and it can be physical.
Mm-hmm.
It's something I don't know. I guess
Yeah.
I couldn't really say until I was put in a position that I had to choose something else.
Exactly. Well, so right now, I mean, there's no reason for you to. Would you want a steady job like that, or at all right now, or do you not want that?
I think it'd be cool to have a steady job.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt with my gym too.
I've considered going back to school.
Yeah.
The original plan was that I was gonna get a PhD.
Whoa,
that
cool.
was the original.
Okay.
And when I finished the master's degree, the plan was my plan was to apply to schools to work with student organizations that had PhD programs or Doctor of Education programs in exercise science or kinesiology or strength conditioning, things like that.
Okay.
And it just wasn't working out. I couldn't get a job at any of these universities that had a program.
Yeah.
And so 6 months in managing Complete Nutrition, I mean, you were next door at any time. I got tired. I loved the job.
Yeah.
I loved that industry, but I didn't like working for the people I was.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was just so sales driven and so pressure, and
that's right.
They didn't like the way I handled things because I didn't sell people.
Okay. Yeah.
I let people come in. We developed relationships. We're honest with people. And we did so well because of it. We were like, that store was selling like $500,000 a year. The year before.
I don't know the numbers, but I can tell you I could probably bet on it that store never did as well after y'all left.
Never
there.
did.
Yeah.
And it probably did really well the first year it opened.
Yeah.
Because it was a new business.
Right. Yeah.
But the previous year was $500,000 in sales. The year I managed it was $750,000.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah.
And then, I was opening the bar at that while I was working there. And my plan was to leave respectfully and make sure everything and leave it with a good relationship.
Yeah.
But the owners, I don't know if they found out what I was doing or not. Or if they just didn't want me there anymore.
Oh, okay.
But they let me go.
Wow.
And they asked me to work instead of management, they asked me to just be a regular employee.
Oh, yeah.
And I wasn't going to do that.
No.
It would cut my pay in half.
Yeah.
And so I took the severance pay and left.
Yeah. I would have too.
A month later, they asked me to come back.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, dude. They called me. They said, we want you to come back.
Yeah.
And I told them, like, all right, well, if I come back, I want to make $15,000 more a year.
Wow.
I want a company car.
Dude.
And I want a gas car.
What'd they say to all that?
They said no.
Oh,
they called me every day for a week.
Yeah.
And then Friday hit. It was the end of the week, and they said, okay.
They did?
Yeah. And I told them I don't want it.
No.
Yeah. Because
they said okay, and then you told them no?
Yeah, I just want to see if they would do it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
I was never going to take it.
That would have happened, how different things could have been. But you were never going to take it. So
I was never going to take it.
Yeah.
And I hated working for those people, man.
Yeah.
They were just, I was a tool, and I was completely expendable.
Yeah.
And they showed it. Like, when you asked them, like, well, why did you even let me go to begin with? They said, well, we just wanted to see what would happen.
Wow.
That's dumb business.
Yeah.
That's dumb business.
Absolutely.
You have a winning you have a winning thing going on.
Yeah.
And you're gonna
play around with it like that.
That's dumb.
And you don't treat people like that.
Yeah.
What about marriage and kids for you? Is that something that you want?
It is.
Yeah.
It is something I'd like to have.
Yeah.
It's important to me find someone who has the same morals and values, and they believe in God.
Yes, dude. Yeah.
And they know God the same way that I do.
Yeah. Dude, I love that, man.
It's I've met many people and who they'll say they believe in God, and they'll say some things, but it's not the same, or they may not see it the same way.
Yep.
It's not as important to them.
That's right.
And so that's important to me.
That's cool.
I haven't always been, we'll say, as passionate about it as I have the last
Same here,
year or
dude.
so.
I had to learn that the hard way. Yeah.
It's well, and the thing is, like, you look at so many characters in the Bible, so many people in the Bible, and a lot of them came from like different walks of life, destructive paths, or even David. David is God called him a man after his own heart, right? So David is like, besides Jesus, he's like, he is the earthly man that we want to be like.
Yes, that's
but
true.
Even he made some pretty major destructive mistakes.
Yeah.
And but so I'm not trying to look at people's mistakes. I want to be with someone who shares those same convictions
Absolutely,
as myself.
man. I think the root of any romantic relational success comes down to being equally yoked, like you're saying.
Absolutely.
It really does.
And that's like that's a biblical phrase right there, being equally yoked. And and I love it because
y'all can also be equally yoked.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds like gym culture.
Yeah, it does sound cool, right?
But for the anyone watching, like, to explain that, oxen are set up in a harness that's called a yoke, and when you have two oxen hooked up in a yoke, if one's pulling harder than the other, that yoke's going to move at a faster pace still. And sometimes in a relationship, you have to take up a little bit more work than the other person does. But if you're both equally yoked and you're both pulling at the same intensity, the same pace, like, that's perfection right there.
Yeah.
But sometimes the other oxen's going to be pulling at a harder pace. They may get tired, or it's So that's the idea.
I never knew that, man. Yeah, I just learned something. That's cool.
It's a cool thing, man.
Yeah, I didn't know that's where that came from.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
you want all the
in the world, many people in the United States, and I just want to make sure that I don't do that myself.
Yeah, dude.
And not to that people don't have amazing families that have had divorces, and
for sure,
and many people have remarried, or they have great families and kids.
Yeah.
And I just want to make sure that I don't make a mistake.
Yes.
Like I want to make sure that I can do everything as best as I can.
Yeah.
So
very cool, man. Very cool. So what are 3 things that you're grateful for right now in your life?
3 things that I'm grateful for is, absolutely God. We're talking about God. I'm definitely, I wouldn't be anywhere without.
That's right. Yeah.
But then my friends.
Yeah, cool.
My friends have been something that they're always there,
Wow.
And they're supporting business, they're supporting friendships,
you have like when you say friends like that are that solid, are you talking about like 10 or 2 or 5 or what?
I think I've got like a pretty good solid circle of like 7 people.
Really? Dude, that's very fortunate.
Yeah, and
very cool.
Dude, not many people get to have a good solid group.
That's right.
That big.
That's right.
I mean, I have a couple that are like my right hand man.
Yeah.
Like Bailey's my best friend.
Yeah.
Bailey and Timmy, those are my 2 best friends.
Cool.
And it's those 2 guys I can talk about anything and everything with.
Yeah.
And they talk to me about everything.
Cool.
We ask each other for advice and call each other out when we need to, when we think we're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
And
man, that's cool.
It's that's who you want. You don't want a friend who will not only love you and help you, but that love and help is also the same as discipline and calling you out and saying, hey, you shouldn't be doing that. Let me help you get away from that.
For sure, man.
So that's important.
Cool.
And then and I guess the third is just thing that I'm grateful for is I guess being gifted with just hard work.
Yeah.
I think that's something that I've always had, I guess, since getting a job when I was 16. I really liked to work.
That's cool.
And I liked to work, and I liked to be in the gym to see progress.
Yes.
And
yep.
So Yeah, I guess those
Yeah,
are the
dude,
three
those are
things.
solid.
Yeah.
And then lastly, what makes you genuinely happy? So what do you where do you get your
Oh.
joy from or happiness from?
What makes me genuinely happy is seeing. I like seeing people enjoying things of life. Like I like whatever it may be. It may be seeing progress in the gym and seeing the results that they work hard for. Getting the changes, getting the job, or graduating from college and being excited for it, experiencing joy.
That's cool, man. Yeah.
That's something.
So celebrating other people's wins.
Yeah, celebrating other people's wins is awesome. It's
and it makes sense of what you do for a living,
Yeah,
That's cool, dude.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, this was great. Thank you so much for doing this. This was really cool,
fun.
man.
I was glad to be here.
It was great. All right, guys. Well, that's it. This has been Tommy Janusz. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate you. Remember, if you'd like to be a sponsor, please reach out to us. The Matt Cutrer Report podcast and the San Angelo Soup are accepting sponsors. We'd love for you to be a part of what we're doing. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you next time.
What up,
Dude,
Say?
that was great, man.
One time for the hometown, I got love for it, it's real. 2 times for the haters, man, cause I notice how this shit feel. 3 times for my family, dog, cause this shit done paid our bills. And I get 4 times my net worth from a year ago with no deals. Did it all.